Question 19. In the triangle below, theta equals tan inverse of A over B. Find these numbers. Now, what does tan inverse even mean? It's referring to an angle. And what do we know about theta and tan? If you play catch across this triangular field, tan is opposite over adjacent. So let's write it. Tan theta is equals to opposite, which is 6, over adjacent, which is 8. This comes from so, ka, toa, opposite, adjacent. And when you use your calculator, we hit the trig inverse button to reveal the angle. So theta equals tan inverse of 6 over 8. So therefore, A is 6 and B is 8. We can also reduce the fraction if you want to and say that A is 3 and B is 4. So for question 20, we have this beautiful ant here. It's 10 meters away from this tree. How high is a tree? We need to find h. And this is called an angle of elevation. The ant is looking up to the top. So using SOHCAHTOA, we say tan, the angle, is equals to opposite, which is h, over the adjacent, which is 10 meters. So without a calculator, you simply multiply both sides by 10 and you're done. H is equals to 10 times tan 20 degrees, which is just a number. If you're curious, the answer is approximately 3.64 meters. Now for question 21, let's see what we remember about lines. Y equals 3x minus 1. Let's sketch this line. I recommend that you begin with a nice y-intercept. The y-intercept here is -1, which means we go down 1 unit. And the slope, 3, is the same thing as 3 over 1. And recall that slope is equals to rise over run. The 3 is the rise, so you go up 3. 1, 2, 3. And the run is +1, which means that we go to the right 1 unit. So you draw a dot on the y-intercept and the second point here, and then you just take your ruler and you draw a nice line cutting through this, and this is a very beautiful sketch. Let's create a table of values. So there's many possible correct answers. Why don't we just plug in 0, 1, and 2? When x equals 0, substitute into here, we have y is equals to 3 times 0 minus 1. And the answer is -1. What about when x is 1 here? Then y is equals to 3 times 1 minus 1, which is 2. So we put 2 here. And when x is 2, 3 times 2 is 6 minus 1 is 5. As you can see, in the table, we're going up by 3s. Now, what is the slope of this line? The slope is the coefficient of x. So we see that in this slope point form, y equals mx plus b, the slope m is simply 3. And what is the y-intercept? The y-intercept is right here. It's your b value. It's -1. And finally, what's the x-intercept? To find the x-intercept, we simply set the opposite of x, which is y, equals 0. So we have y equals 3x minus 1, and by setting this to be 0, we simply use some elementary algebra. You add 1 to both sides, or you could think of this as throwing the -1 over, and you change the sign as 1 is equals to 3x. And then we divide both sides by 3. So x equals 1/3. What does that even mean? It means that the x-intercept, when y is 0, we're trying to find the x value on the x-intercept in which the line crosses. X equals 1/3.